What's up guys? I'm Shun FREERIDER. English is very important, but English is just English, it's not enough yet. So if you want to do marketing or research other country, you should use each country words. Cloudwords are B2B solution for multilingual platform. So let's enjoy this video. Thank you. Thank you so much. So please, so what is your product? Please tell me again. Is it okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
So what we are is we're a SaaS or a cloud platform that helps businesses get any of their content to many markets around the world in different languages as fast and as quick and efficiently as possible. So we connect with or integrate with leading content systems such as market automation tools like Marketo, Eloqua, HubSpot, website tools like Drupal, WordPress, Adobe Experience Manager, with the idea that the content that's in these systems, that's created and authored in your HQ language, needs to get multilingual or translated, so that way that same content can be distributed to all of the markets you want to do business with, all of the regions that you want to send your message into, so you can grow your sales and grow your revenue in Japan, Germany, Argentina, what have you. So we plug into these content systems, get the content into our core SaaS platform. And that core SaaS platform gets the content out of the systems, sends it through our rather robust and innovative workflow, collaboration, automation engine to then get it translated, get it rendered and presented in the final format you'll see it as a web page or a Word document or an email, so that way the person who's reviewing this content can look at it in its, let's say, English original language and its Japanese counterpart, and if they can review it to make sure that the content's right, it's on brand, it's on message, it lays out nicely and pretty, and therefore they can either make the changes or edits they need, or they can say it's all ready to go, and then we Cloudwords push that right back into those same original content systems, ready to distribute out to the world quickly and easily. We help customers do this literally in fractions of the time that it takes normally. We can reduce the time it takes to get content ready for global markets by about 70%. So meaning if it takes you a month to get a batch of content localized, we can help you get that ready in roughly a week, right? We also help make it cheaper for companies to do translation, which is very important because sometimes translation can be very expensive. So for instance, our platform, through having a bidding and quoting platform where you can send out this work to multiple different translation agencies or vendors who can help get the content translated, we can help you drive down your costs by anywhere between 30 to 40% just by using our competitive quoting in the marketplace alone. We have analytics on our platform, so we help you actually understand how much are you spending, how much are you spending by product or by region for a given set of content across vendors. We give you analytics into your workflow, how quickly are you getting all this content to market, why is your German content taking 3 times longer to get to market to your French than your French content. We visualize that for you so you can understand and fix and solve that. We have analytics that shows you how much kind of ROI you're getting or return on investment you're getting on this translation spend. So we actually give businesses intelligence into their global content process. So to kind of back up or high level it, we look at Cloudwords as being a global marketing solution. So if you want to market globally, you want to generate leads or generate demand around the world, we are the best tool to help you do that. So any business that wants to market outside of their home language or home country can use Cloudwords. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Of course, yeah. So how did you decide to establish your startup?
So my story starts before Cloudwords. I was a long-time software developer and architect at Salesforce.com, which is the big CRM, custom relationship management.
Yes.
Probably the pioneer in cloud or software as a service, SaaS. I started there in 2001. I was about the 7th engineer on staff there. working with all the co-founders, Dave Mulloff, the founding CTO, Parker Harris, who's the current EVP of technology, and obviously all of us under Mark Benioff. So it went from the 7-person team to hundreds of engineers and so forth by the time I left 9.5 years later. So it was a 9.5 year run at Salesforce. When I was there, I got exposure to kind of issues around the translation process or problems. And for instance, as a software developer, I'll never forget, we were told we couldn't actually make any changes to the next release's English content files for 2 months before the release. Literally 2 months it was frozen. Whereas we could change code almost literally the night before, the day of. And the reason for this was some weird draconian process that we didn't understand about how long it took to get translated content through this process. So that struck me as strange. The other thing was I was friends, especially in the early days, with a lot of the sales and marketing individuals. And a lot of my sales friends, we'd be at a happy hour, what have you, and they would inevitably talk about, hey, they're on this global sales call, and of course, as always, the EMEA sales reps or the APAC sales reps would be complaining because we launched a new product like Chatter or whatever it is, and they would never have any content or collateral in their Japanese language or in their German language to help them sell this thing, and they would always be complaining. And so so you put those two things together, and I knew there was something wrong or at issue here. And so fast forward towards the end part of my career, and at Salesforce, and I was approached by my co-founder, and he has worked as in sales for one of the many translation agencies that exist around the world. And we were talking, and he was telling me about it's a $34 billion industry. Virtually no software to help customers manage this process. And at first I didn't believe him. I'm like, there's no way it's a $34 billion industry without software helping people writing $34 billion worth of checks every year, right? So I did my diligence and the light bulb went off. Oh my God, he's right. There's no Salesforce, Oracle, SAP, no software player in this space. There's really no cloud software in this space. The only software that existed was primarily aimed at helping the translation vendors or the agencies get the content translated, which was important, but there was no software to help the customers and all of their process and workflow to get to the vendors and then back out. So the founding principle of the company was, let's found a new software company, let's build a software solution in the cloud, because that's where the world is going. Let's aim it so that it helps make the people who are the customers of this translation process, who are paying this $34 billion a year, let's help make this process as quick, easy, and painless for them as possible. Let's let them have more power and visibility over the process than the vendors who traditionally held much of the power and had pricing that wasn't always the most fair or favorable to customers. So make it a customer-centric cloud platform to help customers get content localized and translated as fast as possible. So decided to leave Salesforce. About 5-6 months into my getting a beta cranked out, my old big boss Mark Benioff called me up and said, "What are you doing?" And I finally at that point felt comfortable being like, "Okay, let me share the story." And he called me over to his house that Friday. I gave him a bit more explanation, and I asked if we were raising money, and we said yes. Raised a little seed round. He's like, "Well, what if we do about 10 times that? We do it amongst us." And I almost fell out of my chair, obviously, when I heard that. And people ask, how is it, that easy, relatively speaking? I'm like, well, obviously I was one of his original engineers and architects, so he knew I could build. So the risk of, can this guy build what he wants to build, that wasn't a risk for him. He knew I could. But I think more importantly, Mark Benioff had seen the challenges of this global content problem as a global sales and marketing leader at Oracle, and then obviously at Salesforce. So he knew the problem. He had a globally minded company from almost day one. So he saw a big problem, guy I know can build it, let's get together, and that was the original kind of seed funding for the company. So that's I guess the origin story there.
What do you hope to achieve with your foundation in the future?
What do I hope will be the...
what do you hope to achieve with your foundation in the future?
Pretty simple. Any company that wants to sell or market around the world uses Cloudwords. It's pretty simple. And that's, I guess, from a business standpoint, right? That's what we want to achieve. And I think it's imminently achievable. We are still the best and most complete and most innovative solution on the planet for people who do global marketing. Our friend Phil Fernandez at Marketo, CEO of Marketo, he's on the record saying anybody who wants to do global marketing needs Cloudwords. So I want to be synonymous with global marketing. If you do global marketing, oh, you need Cloudwords to run that. That's kind of, you know, at least from a business perspective, where I want to take this, right? From a product perspective, well, what does it mean to do global marketing, right? It means a lot of things. It means, okay, yes, getting content translated and translated workflow, and that's stuff that's our bread and butter that we do so well right now. It's also evolving our solution to be, well, how do you manage all of this content globally? Because you have all these different content channels and systems spread all across your organization. No one knows where anything is at any point in time, or people in the field and, you know, EMEA don't know half the stuff that HQ has delivered. I want to build a platform that centralizes all of that across all your different content systems to make it easily discoverable and accessible so it can be used as quickly and efficiently as possible. I want people to understand the content that's performing best for them around the world. I want people to be coordinated around the world in the sense of global marketing. You know, what events and programs and campaigns are we running in all regions at all times, and how do we sequence those? How do we make sure they're the best and most aligned with the company's strategy and goals? All of these things need to be part of a holistic global marketing platform, and these are all the things that we build today.
Thank you.
Like she just said. Yeah, and that is something I should clarify, because often we do get confused with being a translation agency ourselves. When I say translation agency, it means there's companies where if I'm a business and I say here is a data sheet or an email and I need to get it translated, I find one of these translation agencies. I send them that data sheet. They then take that, they project manage that with a bunch of human translators to get the words moved from A to B. They give it back to you and they hand you a bill, right? Those are these translation services agencies, and they make human translation happen at scale. We're not a translation agency. There is literally thousands of these around. When we started, we didn't feel the world needed like 1,001 of these guys. Right? We thought, okay, there's a lot of translation agencies. Some are very, very good, and some maybe not so good. What we want is a software platform that connects the customers with the best of breed vendors that they choose to want to work with, and then